Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So on this channel I do different beauty product reviews, makeup reviews, fragrance reviews, some makeup looks and DIY. So if you want to stay tuned to all this stuff, make sure to subscribe. So today I'm going to review a foundation from Miss Rose. The shade what I have is Beige 5. I have ordered this foundation from a site called Daraz when I was in Pakistan, and I paid 550 Pakistani rupees for this foundation. So this is the bottle of it. As you can see, it's a nice and pretty glass bottle, and it comes with a pump. For 550 rupees, it is a pretty good packaging. It's a full coverage foundation, but there are some pros and cons which I'm going to share in this video. So let's get started. So first of all, let me talk about the shade range of this foundation. The shades what you get in this foundation are only from 1 to 7, and the shade what I have is beige number 5. I really wanted to get beige 7, but I couldn't get it, and I did not find a very noticeable difference in the shades. It was not very dark. I have found like number 6 was quite similar to number 5, and there was not much of a difference in 7 also. There are only 7 shades, and like people who are tan or medium skin tone or even wheatish cannot use this foundation. Even this shade is too light for me, but to review this foundation and to demonstrate it, I am going to use it today in this video. This foundation does oxidize. When you are buying this foundation, make sure to test it for at least 10 minutes to see the true results of it and to match the shade. Buying makeup in Pakistan was not easy at all, because most of the cosmetic shops, they don't carry testers, and you have to buy your foundation and a concealer just like seeing the bottle. You cannot test it. They don't provide testers, and even to buy a nail polish, the testers what people are using on their nails, they are giving the same bottle. So that is the situation of buying makeup in Pakistan. I have used this foundation for a couple of times, and this shade is too light for my skin, and the only purpose I'm using this foundation is to mix with my darker foundation. Another downside of this foundation which I hate and which I don't like is that it settles into my fine lines, like my smile lines and the lines under my eyes. The texture of this foundation is really moussey and thick. I am going to apply my foundation using a sponge. I am using a sponge from Miniso. I will dot the foundation off on my face, and later on I will blend it with the sponge. It's a full coverage foundation, and it gives a dewy finish. As you can see, this foundation is too light for me, but for the sake of demonstration I am doing it. So my face is looking like a ghost face now, but you can really work this foundation. But this is not very bad, but this shade is not very bad, and I can work it with my bronzer and by finishing the whole makeup look. But even then I am not confident with this shade. As you can see, the coverage what this foundation has given me, it's like very good. It has a dewy finish, and it feels like a very high-end foundation, and for fair skin people, it can be a very good foundation for them. But the only problem with me is the wrong shade. If the company Miss Rose plans to extend their shade range, it will be beneficial for so many people like me who have like wheatish or tan complexion. So they must think about it. The wrong application of this foundation can give you a very cakey look. So make sure to use the right techniques and right tools. I have used a sponge for this foundation because it's really thick and moussey, and when you use a sponge, most of the product is soaked by the sponge and it gives you a really natural finish. As you can see, the foundation has oxidized a bit. Now that whitish ghost look is has gone down a bit, you can see still it's oxidizing. So be very careful when you are buying this foundation. So my final thoughts regarding this foundation are, I would say it's a good foundation, but there are some pros and cons, like some positive and negatives regarding this foundation. The positives are it's very affordable. The finish what it gives is a dewy finish. You can see what you get from very high-end foundations. It is full coverage and it has covered all the imperfections on my skin. The texture is moussey and thick, so you should know what tools you have to use while using this foundation, otherwise your face will end up in a cakey hot mess. So the things what I don't like about this foundations are the shade range. Most of the people will not be able to find the right shade for them. This foundation does settle down in the fine lines that I don't like. And the other thing what I don't like is that it gives a really, when you look really close to your skin, it gives a really cakey look on your face. Especially here I can see it gives a really caked up, you have applied layers and layers and layers of foundation. So that's the thing what I don't like about this foundation. If you have found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click onto that red button down below right now. Take very good care of yourselves. Bye.